Applause, I ain't done yet. Immortality got me weary since Kobe died. I got this watch on my arm, but I'll never know my time. So my focus lies in my work, which got me in overdrive. I can't break for a day. I'm in a maze of my mind. I can't make an escape.
Hey man, so we back with another episode of Decoding Two Sides of the System. Y'all, I'm very excited. I have a very special guest with me. I met her at the NFL Alumni Golf Tournament, which y'all gonna see that coming soon. But I have Kendall Jackson here with me. She's a professional golfer. She's a piano player, karate. Oh man, she does a lot of different things. She's an influencer, brand ambassador, very special guest, y'all. And now I introduce you. Now I want you to be able to introduce yourself to everybody.
Just about covered it all, going back to piano and karate. Yes, my name is Kendall Jackson, recent graduate of Howard University. I claim Houston, Texas. That's where I was born, but raised in
From
Pearland,
Pearland,
Texas.
yeah,
So
Pearland. Say
I'll
that.
claim Pearland this
Okay,
time.
okay,
Yes.
okay. Say that. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
I do the same thing. That's why I was messing with you with the Pearland thing because, like, I'm from Cameron Parish, but I claim Lake Charles because that's kind of like where I grew up, my high school and stuff. But
Hmm.
first, let's jump right into it. Okay, St. Patrick's Day 2024. I want to talk
Hmm.
about the mental side of that. Shout out to your dad. Great man. I met him at the thing, but he told you if we gonna do it, let's do it right. And I feel like that was like kind of the start of your journey. So let's talk about that. How was that?
Oh wait, 2014, you mean?
Yeah, 2014. That's what I said, right? Did I
Yeah.
say
You
2014?
said 2024. I'm
Oh,
like,
oh, I'm
last year?
sorry,
I'm
I'm
like, what
sorry,
happened last year?
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
2014. I got it right here, my bad. 2014. When your dad told you we gonna do this, we gonna do it, and let's do it right. What was that statement to you, and what was that the start of?
Yes, so that was my very first competitive 18-hole golf tournament. And just like with other sports, with football, with basketball, swimming, anything, you can practice and play all you want, but it's not until you're that real competitive tournament game mode type of setting. And for me, my very first tournament was not it at all. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many golf balls I lost. One of my straps on my golf bag broke. I was crying halfway through my round. So much went wrong.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, okay, this is what competitive golf is like. If so, this is absolutely not for me. Give it to somebody else. But from there, we were really just like, okay, if we're gonna do this right, let's see what tournaments we need to play. Maybe play some more beginner tournaments, some more 9-hole tournaments, just to kind of get our footing. Because at that point, it would have been I would be getting ready for high school in 3 years. So it's like, okay, 3 years to find my footing with competitive tournaments. That way, by the time high school came, it's like, okay, I know how to do this. Not okay, high school's here. Let's start playing competitively.
For sure. And just going through that because whenever I hear you talk about that, I hear about adversity and how you said, your straps broke on your bag and you lost so many golf balls. And, sometimes people don't realize whenever they see the work, they feel like everything is okay. You know what I'm saying? Like they feel like everything has been built up. But those moments of the strap breaking, you losing the golf balls, and you competing at a level that you never competed for was able to put you in the mental mindset to push yourself. And I kind of want to tap into more of that because, everybody, might look at you as, Kendall, she knows Steph Curry, she does this, she does that. And they don't understand that hard work and that grind and that commitment that you had to make to yourself. And also, too, that your dad had the vision to say, nah, like, okay, we're gonna start going on the right track of that. So I want to know, like those moments where that strap did break and that adversity. Talk about those moments and talk about the things that you told to yourself in order to get you out your rut to keep going.
I would say before college, because honestly, I look at my junior golf journey between like 2014 and 2021 versus my time in college a little bit differently. Because before, as a junior golfer, playing across the state, playing around the city of Houston, it was pretty much just me and my parents just kind of figuring out on our own. Because it's gotten better, the junior golf community, specifically the Black junior golf community. There's different tours, there's different events, there's different you're able to find out a lot more information versus back literally just less than 10 years ago, even though as diverse as Texas is and as competitive it is for golf, there were so many things my parents and I just had to figure out for ourselves, like what coaches are looking at this, what are the right events to play to get this status to get here. It was so much trial and error on our part. So that's why we try to do a good job of any up and coming junior golfers in Houston and Texas so that we know, hey, this is what we did. These are the coaches we worked with. These were the tours we played with because for the longest, it was just me, mom, and dad figuring out for ourselves. But thankfully, obviously, I had them. Rather, if it was they both were here at the tournaments, it was me and mom, me and dad, it was all of us together versus in college being that because I was a student athlete in high school again. Pearland High School is not even 5 minutes down the street. Everything's right there. It's just like, and then even playing on a high school team for the first time, just adjusting to missing class, to having workouts, being that student athlete in high school. But again, your parents are here, they're still washing your clothes, they're still making your lunch.
Mhm.
And I go to Howard and do the same thing now on a brand new golf team with a brand new program all across or all the way up on the side on the northeast, which Houston is fine. I love Houston, but DC and Houston are two completely very different places. And
Mhm.
again, I'm coming from the suburbs. DC is not the suburbs. So just adjusting to a different way of life, adjusting to be a student athlete in college, because student athlete in high school is fine,
Yeah.
but in college, especially as a block schedule, if I miss a Monday, Tuesday, and I have this class Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's just a matter of just communicating with the professors and all that. But definitely the hurdles I was able to make as a junior golfer before high school, during high school, helped me to be able to continue it in college. Even though those issues, like not issues, but those hurdles looked a lot differently. But it's like I know what it was like to overcome, so I can do it again.
Yeah, for sure. Man, I was a former student athlete. I played basketball, and one of the things that I tell people is mentally, you're gonna have to learn just as much as you put into the game, like you gotta put into your life when you get to
Yes.
college, because there's a whole bunch of things that you took for granted until you get on your own and until you
Yes.
move. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's certain things,
Yes.
whether it's the discipline on your diet, discipline going to the gym, discipline on managing having fun and then working out and stuff like that. And then a lot of kids experience burnout too because they just be so focused on the sport, not knowing that you gotta mentally like reset. Because if you
You're more
don't,
than just your sport.
yeah, yeah, because you fall into that, and a bunch of people struggle with that as well. I'm glad that you said that. A bunch of people struggle with identity crisis because a lot of people that start college don't finish college. A lot of people start as an athlete, don't finish as an athlete, and then when you're wrapped in that mentally, you can't really trickle down. So yeah, that is definitely powerful, and I love how you stated that. Like it was a juggle for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to really juggle and learn and that those are things that it leads us into the next topic as far as like your dad. First off, shout out to your dad, a very very great man. Yeah, clap for pops.
Yes.
I met him at the
Mr. Maurice
tournament.
Jackson.
Yes, met him at the tournament. Great guy. And I had asked him, I was like, man, if she would love to do a podcast, I would love to have her on my mental health podcast. I didn't really want to bother you. I seen you golfing out there. I kind of knew you was, but I was like, I don't really want to go, and I don't like interrupting people whenever they're doing things, especially because you're a family there. I'm like, nah, if God says it'll happen, But I want to talk about like him having that vision early, and especially like as a dad who's like involved, in the black community. Sometimes we don't have our parents or both our parents, or sometimes our parents are just not as involved. But for your dad to have the vision and then to lay out
At 6 years
at
old,
6 years
by the
old,
way.
yes, and I want you to talk about that. I gotta get that story on here because a bunch of people they don't have
Of course. A brief backstory on him. So he was born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri, and
that.
was the very first of his family to go to college. He started because he played sports all across KCMO, but he went to Texas on a football scholarship,
Mhm.
started at Prairie View, ended up finishing at Texas Southern. And from there, once he met my mom and had me, and realized because they had me a little bit later in life, so it was just me, and
Mhm.
obviously they wanted to put me in anything and everything, hence the karate, the piano, the
All right.
golf,
Well,
the
we gonna get
basketball,
into that for
swimming.
sure. We gonna get into that. Go ahead.
Yes.
Keep going. Keep going.
Absolutely. But he started me in the first tier grade at Houston back in 2009. That not only, which they have chapters all across the US, which introduces life skills through the game of golf. I believe a friend of his had told him about it. And because he worked with Budweiser, he's actually getting ready to retire
Oh,
next
okay.
couple weeks. He'll be 30 years with Budweiser. But
Congratulations.
just absolutely, but just going out to different golf events with there, seeing the people you can meet with golf, seeing the shelf life that golf has to offer, because him being a former student athlete, he knows he can't play football forever. But golf is one of those things you can literally play it till you're 100 years old. And once he found out, oh, you could get a scholarship for that, him being a student athlete, he knows the benefits of playing a sport in college, having that team camaraderie. So for him to be thinking this at 6 years old, when I'm still trying to figure out like what I want to do and whatnot, which golf for me was the one thing. And actually, we just had this conversation the other day. I always played it as a kid, but I never considered myself an actual golfer because it's like, oh, this is just something I do, but I'm no means am I a golfer. There's not. It's just it's one of the list of things I do.
Right.
But for him and my mom felt to be like, no, we're gonna continue to push her, still allow her to experience other things and see what sticks. But golf will always be that consistent thing for sure. And then for me, that light bulb really clicked on in high school once I became the first to qualify for the state championship. I didn't realize, well, one, how big of a deal that was, especially coming out of Pearland, a 6A school, the biggest and most competitive across Texas, and just seeing what that hard work led into and how I could even continue to take it to the next level of college and beyond. So I really appreciated both of them for instilling off in me, continuing to push me, even if there were times I didn't want to practice or go or play or whatnot. And then obviously even in 2014 when we started competing competitively, I'm like, this is not it at all. And they're like, no, you gotta do it. You may not like it, but you're gonna do it, but still in a way to where it's very encouraging and not forcing. Because that's the thing too. Golf is one of those things you have to eventually love it more than your parents. And there was a time where my parents liked it and loved it more than me, and it just took um, me figuring out for myself. No, this is my sport. This is what I want to do. If I want to get better, I have to continue to put in the work. Because there'll be times they like it more than me. There's gonna be times I like it more than them. But ultimately, you have to love it for yourself if you want to get to the next level.
I love that. And y'all, just reiterating what she said. She said that somebody liked it more than her, but she had to learn to love it more than them. And sometimes in life, mentally, we don't really understand how much our parents are pouring into us and how much that we take it for
Especially
granted.
financially.
Yeah,
Now that I'm starting to pay
financially,
for stuff now, I'm
right.
like, whoa,
Yeah.
wait a minute now.
Emotionally
Not too much
too.
now.
Emotionally too. Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. But like those things are little things that sometimes we take for granted, y'all. And if y'all out there and y'all chasing the sport or chasing the dream, just know that eventually, if your parents are pushing you, and pushing you, you're gonna have to look in the mirror and push yourself harder than even what they would, and you're gonna have to learn how to take on that responsibility. So please take that from that. And another thing too, I think that your dad he instilled certain principles into you on discipline, and those principles led into your karate, which I want to tap into, and also just your mental focus. To be able to lock in and understand that it's a process, is a journey. So I seen you doing karate, and I love that because there's a process to get to the black belt. In life, people want to skip steps. They don't want to go from white to I don't really know the colors, but green, orange, and then they want to find the quickest way to get to the black, not understanding that the lessons that lie in within you being disciplined, being determined, being able to push yourself past your limits of consistency is in those white belts to the next stage. So talk to me
hmm
about that, please.
So I would say karate was the second thing I started. Gymnastics was the very first. I
Mm-hmm.
believe I only did that for like 2 years. But karate was my after school as well as my daycare. So from 2008 to 2015, during both the summer and the school year, I was at Bushy Bond Martial Arts and Fitness because my parents worked throughout the day. So I needed somewhere to stay after school and somewhere to do in the summer. And white belt all the way to black belt and eventually first degree black belts from what's that, 6 years old, 5, 6 years old till 13, 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just learning different disciplines, learning integrity, sportsmanship, a lot of the same core values mirrored both kind of in karate as well as in golf. And then just from a physical standpoint, I think I finally figured out why I hit the ball so far. It stems from my time in karate, being able to have that balance, being able to have that transfer of power, but at the same time too, being able to keep up with all of our stuff between the gi and the belt. And then when I did sparring and jujitsu, there's a lot of stuff you have to keep up with. So same thing with golf, keeping up with your stuff, making sure if, hey, the instructor says, hey, we're doing this on this, communicating with my parents, hey, this is coming up, this is coming up. But ultimately, just being able to do the same thing every day, put in the time, put in the effort, even if you may not see the results right now, knowing what you're working towards is gonna pay off. And I honestly still need to brush up on my stuff. Since I finished, I think I've only been back like 2 or 3 times. And one time I did bring my gi and suit up. I had to look up a video on how to tie my belt because I completely forgot.
Wow.
But that's definitely something I do wanna tap back into, especially since now I'm fully back home.
Yeah, for sure. And I have this quote that I wrote earlier today. I listened to motivation before the pods, and it said, Ray Lewis said, "Greatness is doing what you need to do day after day, time after time, consistently." And I resonate so much with that quote. You don't know me, I don't know you, but like a year ago around this time, I was probably like around like 13, 14,000 subscribers. Uh, Thank y'all to everybody who subscribed. Just yesterday, I hit 65,000 subscribers. So whenever you seen me,
Wow.
whenever I met you, I was only at like 63. So that's like 2,000 more people. So
Love to see it.
yes, thank you. And what people don't really understand is they don't understand that whenever people say doing stuff, it's days that you don't want to do the work. There's days that you don't want to get up. There's days that you don't want to get up here, shoot a pod, or even you go swing golf clubs or even train your body to get to that focus. But and those days are the best days to train because it makes you look in the mirror and ask yourself how much do you want it. And for everybody that's out there that's going through mental health things, mental health struggles, and you're trying to process yourself to be a better person, understand that your bad days are the best days for you to learn your process of where you are. And how do you feel
Absolutely.
about that?
That's really good because I look back over my now kind of transitioning to my time in college because high school golf was much, or college golf was much different than high school golf, but more specifically the senior year, everything that comes with being a senior, making sure all the I's are dotted, all the T's are
Mhm.
crossed, everything's in order. Because obviously, freshman through junior year, honestly, even freshman year through first semester of senior year, it's like, oh, if this doesn't get done, I have time. Oh, I can push it off till next week. I can push it off till next semester. Spring 2025, there is no next semester.
You're
So if
right.
something needs to get done, it needs to get done right now. And just juggling that between still traveling, still competing. This was the most we've ever traveled ever in a given semester. I mean, there's 15 weeks in the semester, and I traveled 8 weeks in a row,
My God.
literally from the Monday after Super Bowl to the first Monday of April. I was not in class on Monday. It literally got to a point I was meeting with one of my professors over our final papers, and this was the one class too. It was 9 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So if I'm coming in at Wednesday at midnight or Tuesday at midnight, I'll even get to that class later. I just wasn't in that class
Mhm.
twice a week. And this class only had like 4 big assignments the whole year. So if you miss one, if you don't do well on one, your grade is kind of tanked.
Yeah.
And so we're talking on the Zoom call, and she's like, "Oh, Kendall, you don't have to worry about that. That's for seniors." I said, "Yes, ma'am. I know. I graduate next month." "Oh my goodness, you've been gone so much. I didn't think you were a senior." Like, surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
So just trying to still stay on top of everything while still being gone. This is the most I've ever had to juggle and balance. And then even graduation itself, my department, positive arts and science, was the 8 a.m. graduation on Thursday, May 8th, and my tournament ended on Wednesday, May 7th, and I landed the morning of graduation. Thank goodness I made that flight because
Wow.
I could not imagine
Yeah.
missing that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's
just everything that comes with making sure everything's in order, but also still trying to compete. Because I'm not gonna lie, me personally, my scores weren't really reflective of what I knew I could do and what
mm,
I've done in the past, but just giving myself grace of this was not what you've done over all 4 years, not
right.
what you did one semester, which is still even now 7 months later, still a little disappointment there, but just have to look at it as what did I overcome? What were some things that I was able to do over the 4 years? And just looking at those hard days or those tough days or those tough rounds, like now, because when it comes to the future now, especially competing as a professional, you're still gonna have tough days, you're still gonna have off days, you're still gonna have bad days, but being able to look at those from a different lens, knowing I was able to overcome in college, so I can still overcome as well moving forward.
Yeah, I love that, man. That's so much great information that you just gave. And just tapping into your story too, like saying how like I did not want to miss my graduation flights, but you had to go perform in a tournament like the night before and fly in. And like people
Mind you, I just played golf 5 days before, so I was exhausted, and now I got to land at midnight,
put a
drive from
smile
Dulles to
on.
College Park.
Yes, put a smile
Dad's like,
on.
I remember that morning, Dad's like, "You ready to walk?" I'm like, "Yes."
No, that's love. I think that one thing that really gets me about just what you said was you literally didn't even have time, and people don't understand the type of limits that God tests you when you chasing your dreams. Like for you to have to
Absolutely.
not miss that flight because then you're gonna miss your graduation. That's the like it's this close, y'all. It
Nothing
could
could
be,
go wrong.
yeah, nothing can go wrong. So I be wanting to tell people like you like this is how close you are from stepping on the other side of success, but also failing every single day.
Yes.
So God is going to test you on that threshold consistently to see if you want this. Because, like,
Hey, it's your boy King Trey here with Decoding Two Sides of the System. I've been telling y'all that I got a big announcement. Well, it's here. I've now partnered with my first deal with the Clap app. And listen, all you gotta do is use my link. Boom, it's gonna be here, it's gonna be here, it's gonna be here, all down here. Listen, click the link. If you got any videos that you want to make reels out of, if you got any podcasts, gym content that you talking or anything and you don't know how to make your own reels or your content creation, all you got to do is use my link, plug in your URL to your content, and it will make your reels for you. Listen, this is an opportunity for you to take whatever content you got to the next level. And with Clap, that's what we doing. We taking it to the next level. So I want to thank everybody that's been supporting me from day one, to all the people, all my new subscribers. Like I say, y'all not subscribers, y'all family members. The Be Different family is growing fast. And with the growth, we're now accomplishing new things. So I want to thank y'all for supporting me, growing with me. And listen, y'all make sure y'all tap in. I'm talking about, listen, I'm clapping. Hey, it's there. Use the link and let me know what, you know what? Forget all that. I want to see who got the best content. Use my link, tag me in the content, and I'm going to throw you on the pod. That's what we doing. I'm gonna shout you out to all the family members. Whoever got the best content, that make the best content using the Clap app, is going on the pod, man. So y'all already know the motto: be different.
like, some of the things, like, my first pod that broke, like, the internet and I kind of started getting buzzed, I literally had somebody, so I flew to LA, right? So I'm in LA. My podcast is like at 4 p.m., right? So I'm in LA. I'm at Santa Monica Pier, which is like 30 minutes from where I'm going to shoot, but I'm shooting like just content. The person who I was going to interview cancels on me. I have
Oh
no
no.
backup. Try to hit up my backup interview. Nobody's coming. So then
Oh my.
I prepared 2 months for this interview because it was a big interview. So I end up having everything that I wrote was for me and that person. So I had to scrap all that. I had to hurry up. Then to make it worse, I found out like 2 hours or kind of like an hour and 40 minutes before. So boom, the place calls me and was like, "Hey, you can't shoot at 4. You got to shoot at 3:30." I'm like, "Wait, what?" Like, yeah. We're closing at 4:30 if you need an hour. So
Oh my
I'm at the Santa
gosh.
Monica Pier shooting content. I'm like, "All right, we gotta go." So literally, I get in the car, hurry up, rush, get dressed. I make it there. I don't know how. I call my cameraman. If my cameraman says I can't go at that time, I can't shoot the pod because I didn't bring my equipment to shoot. So he's like, "Yes, that's perfect." He's like, "I'm on my way." I'm like, "I might be a little late, but I'm coming. Like, I need to go get dressed." So make a long story short, they upped the time on me. I didn't have nothing to write. I wrote the pod on the way to the pod, on the way to shoot the thing, and it was the first pod
Oh
that
my
I ever shot
goodness.
by myself. I had a cruise to go on the next week. I put the pod out. I went on the cruise. Literally, I was at like probably like around 200 subscribers. I get on the cruise after day one. I was at 600 subscribers. Like my phone, literally, we were on a cruise. Shout out to my guy. I call him T Head. I think it was bing, 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 and everything just like that was subscribers. People just tapping in. It was an 8-day cruise. I started the cruise like 262. By the time I got off the cruise, I was at like 2,500 subscribers. That was my
Wow.
jump. So that's just a story. I've never told that to anybody. Like I don't think on camera. So you're the first. But yeah,
I
like, yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah, yeah. But that little window, the cameraman doesn't go. You know what I'm saying? And those are the moments that test you. So what she's saying, y'all, please take account to that. Whether you're going through anything in your mental health, like you might be struggling and you might not even ever to see no light. But if you see that little peak, just a little peak, that's your way to squeeze in and fight. So yeah, I love that. I love that. I love that. Okay, now I want to talk about your adversity, right? As far as I seen that you were on your way to golf practice one day and you got in a car accident. Now the car flipped
Dang, you didn't
over.
go through all the archives.
Listen. I
Jeez.
prepare. I'm a very great preparer, but I kind of want to talk to you about that because there's so many things that can happen in that with you being trauma, you being scared, and just that moment of a car flipping and you playing golf. You're on your way to chase your dreams and something like that happens. So unexpected, crazy. So talk to me about that, and I want to know mentally how you felt after that.
Well, this was 2019, so I'm a junior in high school. I'm a junior in high school. I remember I had a tournament that weekend,
Yeah.
and this I want to say is like a Tuesday, and I remember we actually didn't have practice that day, but
Mm,
I didn't because I think this is whenever we were renovating at our school, so some spots were a little bit spottier than others, and I didn't get the text message literally till I'm in the car. And I just texted my coach, "Hey, I'm already at my car. Can I just go ahead and go? Because I got a tournament to prepare for this weekend." She said, "Oh, yeah, sure, no problem." I'm driving, and most of the time, whenever I'm driving at the course of the time, whatever our first light is, I usually take a left at that light and go over the overpass.
mm,
It was a long, I don't know, considering it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday, I'm like, I don't know why the line is so long. I'm like, let me just keep going straight because what could happen. And just driving, just our two lane. And I remember I see this big white Yukon pulls out, and I don't know why I didn't think. I don't know why I didn't think. And as I'm driving, I'm like, oh, they're kind of a little bit, they're kind of a little close. I'm like, I hope they're not going to hit me. And as soon as I said that, I was driving my mom's Jeep Liberty at the time because she had had that for her birthday and then gave it to me 2 years later once I started driving. It's my front right wheel. I just remember just getting hit, getting shooken up, and then all of a sudden I went from looking at the road like this to looking at the road like this. And most of the time, I never ride with the windows down. Or whenever I'm in the car, like riding with the
mm,
windows down, but my parents like, no, don't ride with the windows down. But that day, I'd had my driver's side window down, and thankfully I did because the whiplash is just getting shaken this way and this
mm.
way. I remember my phone, I was in the cup holder, just went like this in front of my face, landed on the cement.
Uh,
And I mean, this was December, this is Christmas time. So I just remember I'm literally on the road like this, the car is on its side, and Christmas music is just blasting. And I'm just in shock of what happened. I called my dad, and that was probably one of the worst phone calls because I just remember I wasn't hurt, but I was just in shock, just screaming and crying.
mm,
And then I'm on my door, like on my driver's side. So thankfully there are a few businesses around. They ended up having to get me out the hatchback. And I remember the guy was actually being a little standoffish, considering I'm driving a bright red 2012 Jeep Liberty, which now we know Jeeps are top heavy, but he was being a little standoffish, thinking it was my fault until he saw my clubs in the back of the car, and I practiced at a course he's a member at. So then now he had felt bad. Obviously I did not go to practice that day. I went to the hospital. I just remember just thanking the Lord as I walked out because I could have easily broken something, um, could have easily, or even worse. I remember the only thing I had was literally just a paper cut scratch on my finger. I will say once that adrenaline did wear off the next day, my neck was so sore because I had a whiplash. So I had, ended up having four neck sprains. And I remember that spring I had to do PT with the chiropractor like 3 days a week for the next 6 weeks. And again, this is junior year, so I'm trying to get stuff in order, trying to get ready for senior year. I don't have time for another extra added thing, but I was glad I was able to do that. And I actually ended up getting a brand new car, which I still have to this day. And I actually got it on my dad's birthday because that accident did happen December 3rd. His birthday is January 3rd. And he's trying to tell me who buys their daughter a car on their birthday. I'm like, I didn't ask to get hit a month ago, sir.
Right.
But I do have to drive.
Right.
I'm just looking at it now. Like, obviously, you never want to get hit, but once you do get hit, especially if it's not your fault, you're obviously a lot more aware. Like, anytime someone pulls up to the side, I'm like, whoa, go
Yeah.
ahead, pump the brakes. And then my car now has a lot more safety features. So, especially my blind spot, because even though I saw them turning, I mean, I clearly was not paying attention. So you just become a lot more aware of your surroundings. And I remember the very next, so I didn't play the tournament that weekend, but my very next tournament for high school, I actually did end up winning it literally less than a week later. So that
Wow.
was pretty cool. But I try to block out that
My
memory
bad,
from
my
me.
bad, my
Not gonna
bad,
lie,
my
but no,
bad. Yeah.
I appreciate it
Yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah. No, because the only reason why I wanted to bring that up is because people don't understand that somebody might look at you and look at everything that you're accomplishing, and they think that people that are have success don't go through regular things, and they think that like the process of what you have, they can't see what you did to get it. They just see what you have, and
The end
yeah,
results.
yeah, the end results, and just going through those type of things, and you saying like, hey, I was more cautious, and I had to go to PT. I wanted you to tell that story because I wanted people to understand, like, yes, you went through that, but you had a process that you had to do in order to better yourself, and you didn't take it for granted. You went to PT, you did exactly what you needed to do, and look how you overcame. You won a tournament not too long after. You know what I'm saying? But some people, when they go through things, they shut down and they think that.
And then even I did forget to mention
Oh,
this.
God.
Even driving, obviously, we didn't have. Well, we had a car, but we were down to two cars instead of three. So I had to get dropped off to practice, or dropped off to practice, or dropped off at school. I had to take the bus to practice. Mind you, I've been driving now, and that too, I had been driving barely a little bit over a year, and so for that to basically get taken away for about a whole month, and then it took me a while too to finally get behind the wheel as well, because I mean I just got hit. It's like, oh, let's get right behind the wheel. No, I had to ease back into it because I'm like, am I gonna get hit again?
Right, right, right. And that's the process that like y'all, when you question yourself, it's not a bad thing sometimes. That's really for you to sit back and say, okay, I'm not ready. If you can accept that, sometimes we put things in our mind and we try to figure out things that we don't have the answers for. Like, no, you're just not ready. Just calm down, take a
And that's
process. Yeah,
okay.
and
It
that's
takes
okay. Yeah,
time.
it takes time. Like, it's just like if you picking up a basketball, baseball, if you at a new job, you trying to pick this up thinking you gonna be Steph or LeBron or these people. No, and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? And to acknowledge that you're not okay. But it's not okay to sit there and not do the work to get to the point where you want to get. And speaking of that, it's just like Steph. Like one of the things I admire about Steph Curry that nobody talk about is when
The
he
best
first,
seed.
yeah. Okay, okay. But when he first got into the league, those first 4 years, Steph had always been an amazing basketball player, as he's shown at Davidson. It's just his ankles wasn't holding up. And he went through ankle surgery after ankle surgery, playing through different ankle braces, just trying to be comfortable. But he never lost faith in the work. You know what I'm saying? And he believed in his process and his goals in order to push himself. And people don't realize that because you look at him now and he's an all-time great, one of the greatest shooter of all time. But people not realizing, if you go check those first 4 years, those first 5 years, people didn't really believe in what he was doing. So he had to do the work. There's a reason why he's at Under Armour and not Nike. Nike didn't believe in him because of those years. If you take off those first 5 years and doing, Steph would have never been at Under Armour, respectfully. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about your faith and the work that you put in, even through your adversity, and to sit up there and face it. Like, he didn't keep his head down. He didn't do this. He kept working. He kept trying to find solutions for his ankles. He knew that if his ankles held up, he would be able to be his best potentially. Just like her, she knew that once I get my neck back and I work on my body and I get my body aligned, then I'll go. Once I feel more comfortable behind the wheel, then I'll go. Sometimes in life, we're looking at everybody else wins. We're looking at Instagram and stuff. We're not understanding that, hey, you're not there. It's okay to tell yourself that. Just work to get there. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. You got any more of that or no? I didn't want to
Oh
cut
no,
you
you
off.
covered it
Okay,
all. No,
okay,
you
okay,
good.
okay.
You wrapped it up well.
Okay. I want to talk to you about uh after COVID.
Mm,
Yes, that adjustment, and I seen that you say you played like the worst, like golf, and you were kind of struggling. This is before you went to Howard, correct?
yes,
Okay.
this was because COVID hit me as a junior in high
Hmm.
school, and I graduated a year later, 21 for high school, which honestly, because if you look over the 8 years from freshman year to high school to senior year of college, which for me, 2017, 21, and 21, 25, the first 2 years of high school and those last 2 years of college, they're fine. But those last 2 years of high school and those first 2 years of college was all 2019 to 2022, very much. And then obviously 2020 to 2021 being peak COVID time, which for me, junior in high school, senior in high school, freshman in college, sophomore in college.
Yeah, dang, and that's so crazy. I graduated that year. That was one of the worst years of my life. I didn't even get a chance to enjoy my college graduation. So,
The forgotten
yes, the
class.
forgotten
I call us the
class.
domino class because we were like the second in line, but
Yeah,
no, the forgotten class for real.
yeah.
At 2020.
Yes, that's wild. But I want to talk to you about that. What was your mental mindset that you had to have doing all those changes? Because you were going through so much just within your career, just within life. Then you got COVID. Then you worried about obviously your your elder parents, all that. So tell me about that.
I would say for 2020, 2021. So when COVID initially hit, obviously we went out for spring break. And I was like, oh, another week off. Sweet. Oh, another week off. Sweet. Oh, another week off. Wait, another week off. Like, are we gonna go back? And the fact that we weren't able to go back, we just didn't know what was happening. And then once we finally did start playing tournaments, they could only have one parent at one time. And if you did have to, one had to stay in the parking lot. All these just different COVID golf rules. And then I was in between coaches at the time. I still didn't even know where I was going to go to college, and I'm about to graduate in less than a year because all the schools I had reached out to were like, thanks, but no thanks, or oh, we don't know about the state of our program. We don't know if seniors are coming back, or oh, we're already focused on the class behind me.
Mm,
And I remember I'd heard about Howard Golf. It was announced August of 2019 that it was getting a team funded by Steph. And I remember when I initially saw that, I'm like, oh, that's cool. But okay, where am I going to go? Just kind of saw it, but didn't really
yeah,
pay that much attention to
yeah.
it until a couple months later. I'm like, this Howard Golf thing might not sound too bad because I know the men got to play a few events before COVID hit, but the women didn't get to play at all. So I knew fall 2021, if I were to go there, I would be on the inaugural women's team. And just looking at everywhere else that just was giving me pretty much a whole bunch of no's, a whole bunch of rejections,
Mm,
but saying that that would be an opportunity to meet Seth, yes, but opportunity to be a part of a groundbreaking program. I
yeah.
mean, Howard had a team back in like the 50s and 60s, but nothing on the level that we're at now, the Division 1 level.
Mm,
And then being able to trust in a brand new program, not knowing what was going to happen, being in DC, and then even finishing out my senior year of high school as well. I would say before, kind of like the summer before, I was playing extremely bad golf.
mm,
I was in between coaches, just trying to figure out. And then, two, I still hadn't committed to Howard yet. So it was just so much uncertainty, so much. I just remember, like, Lord, know I graduate. I know I want to play golf in college. Why is all this stuff happening?
Mm.
And I will say, thankfully though, I don't think we ever had any family members thankfully pass away or even get sick from COVID that I
I'm
knew of,
glad.
immediate family as well as extended family. So just being grateful for that. And then once it was finally time to go back to school, did start my first day of senior year at home behind the computer, and then finally did go back in person in the spring. Was able to finish out a really good golf season, going back to state for, I'll say it's the second time in 3 years because the third year got cut due to COVID, and just being really excited for what was to come at Howard, and then even just committing that spring in February. Remember our local news anchors at KHOU did a surprise announcement and featured me on the news that evening, and I had no idea that was going to happen. So that was just super special. And then even just that summer before Howard was just really good golf. And then I ended up qualifying for the U.S. Girls Junior Championship,
Mm.
which is one of the major USGA events. And at that time, it was out at Chevy Chase, Maryland, in Columbia Country Club, not even 30 minutes from Howard. So it just felt like I knew this was just a good sign of things to come, since I'm like, oh, I'm going to be not too far from this area in just a few months. And then just adjusting to DC, adjusting to an HBCU, adjusting to Howard, because the Northeast does COVID a lot differently than Texas.
Way
I mean,
different.
Texas wide open, Houston's wide open. You get to DC, you have to show your COVID cards everywhere. We had this thing called Bison Safe. You had to make sure you checked everything before you could go into the building.
Man.
And then just adjusting to a brand new golf program, because you have an idea of what college golf looks like or what you've heard. And then when you finally get there during COVID with a brand new team,
Mm.
I mean, some of the things we did those first couple months, I'm like, what is happening right now? Because again, nobody has been on campus in over a year. This is a brand new program. We know what we want to do, but we are starting from ground zero. We are starting from scratch. And now being on this side of it, obviously graduating, the things I myself have been able to accomplish, we as a program, we as a Howard golf team,
Mm.
the experiences we've been able to do. I mean, we went to Scotland in the fall. We've traveled all across the US. We've competed at against some of the biggest and best schools across the US. And just the support the vision that Steph saw, the support that Coach P has given us and all of our donors and sponsors, and then obviously just Howard University as a whole. I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world. Even though I look at that first year and those last 3 years completely separate,
Mm.
you can't have the sophomore, junior, senior year without that
And
freshman
that
year for
freshman year,
sure.
yeah. And I love oh my God, a bunch of things that you talked about. Especially, you people understanding that not everybody like believed in you and believe in your vision. So everything that you
Because
accomplished
I
in
got a whole
college,
lot of no's in my inbox. I'm
yes,
like, another
yes,
one?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Move on to the next.
Right, right, right. And it's so funny because I feel like you and Steph's story align so much within y'all getting into college journey. Even though Davidson had a basketball program, I don't feel like that they had like, that recognition. And especially like within the Howard program, like y'all were doing everything from scratch. And for you to get in there and work hard and not let those no's deter like your mentality, your work ethic, your drive. And this is a bunch of things that I tell the people all the time. You know, I get a lot of no's, but my confidence in myself and my faith in myself and the faith that I have in God that He gonna lead me the right way always puts me where I need to be. So I might not get everything
100%.
that I want, but I know within my faith, within my drive and my work ethic that I'm gonna always get what I need. And I want to
Absolutely.
talk to you just about that and your relationship with your grandmother. Um, and I have a great relationship with my grandmother as well. My grandmother practically raised me. She instilled a bunch of things into me, and I just seen her the other day. We're at my little brother baby shower, and I was just hugging their kids. I'm like, "Mama, I miss you so much. Thank you." And sometimes we take for granted the things that our grandparents bring to us, whether it's light joy, the good food, the laughter, just the comfortness of conversation. And I want to kind of like bring that to light. So, talk to me about your grandmother, your relationship, and everything that she instilled in you.
I say my grandparents, because I have my mom's mom and I have my dad's dad. So growing up, because my mom's dad passed when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and then my dad's mom passed when I was like in eighth grade.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I get a lot of my personality from her. Unfortunately, whenever I kind of got to the age where I knew her, she had already been sick, so I didn't get to see her like my uncles and my aunties did growing up. But I know they always talk about like all the things that I've been able to do and accomplish, they see so much of her and me.
Mm-hmm.
Then my grandpa, though, so my dad's dad, he actually came to my very first golf or one of my very first college tournaments freshman year. I think he's seen me play now. He's seen me play on TV a few times, but he's come out to watch me play twice and seeing, obviously, he was born in like the 40s, so obviously knowing back then, people of his age back then couldn't be on the golf course, couldn't have access, and to now see his granddaughter playing college golf, playing on TV, playing with all these kinds of people, he's just so proud. So I talk check in with him often. And then my grandma, my mom's mom, who she hasn't seen me play, but I've been able to, or not in person, but I've been able to show her some of my highlights on TV. I try to give her a call because she doesn't live too far from me. We're actually gonna go see her this weekend,
Love.
check in with her because she just turned 90 last year, so
Mm,
she's still hanging in there.
yeah.
But she's just always making sure I'm staying encouraged, staying in the word. But then also, I remember growing up, she's like, Kendall, whenever those people are talking about you or doing this, just give them that karate. I'm like, I'm not going to hit nobody if it's not self-defense, granted, but just making sure, like, I know what's up, just making sure staying in the word, keep me in her prayers. And then whenever we do talk about golf, it's like, I don't know much about the sport, but I know that you're in it. So just continue to pray for you, of course,
Mhm.
and just appreciate all the support, even if they may have not been able to see me in person, just all the encouraging words, and the love and the prayers that both mom's mom and dad's dad gives to me.
For sure. I love this quote that your dad said. It's a great quote. I wanted to bring it to the people, but he said it's okay to be the first one, just don't be the last one. And I think he told you that
Yes.
whenever you were about to commit to Howard. But that quote to me, I want to bring that to all my subscribers and just people that follow me.
Man, you and dad must have had a great conversation. You're getting all these quotes from dad. I'm like,
Yeah, nah,
dang.
I know. Nah, what's crazy is we didn't. I'm a very great researcher, and I
Man,
really,
you are
really
doing
tap
your
in and
homework for
listen. Thank
sure.
you so much. I appreciate that for real. Damn, that made me feel
I know
good.
he gonna love this podcast when this comes out.
Yeah, no, I definitely gonna shout him out. But that quote, y'all, a lot of people are so scared to jump out and do things on their own. A lot of people are so scared to just start. A lot of people are so scared to put themselves out there and have to walk alone of everybody looking at you and seeing how far you're gonna move the needle. And I think that's a lot of what holds people back. And that information and that advice that just don't go within sports into just, you know what I'm saying, hey, picking things. It actually go into your everyday. No, don't try to be the person that's there because somebody else there. Be the first person there and put in the work. And you looking at something, you're trying to start something. A lot of people ask me about YouTube. Don't try to be the next me. Be the first you. Get out there and do your thing and create your own lane. And I think that, man, that's just so great advice. Whenever he told you that quote, what did it spark in you? Because whenever I heard the quote, I was like, wow, it sparked all that. So what did it spark in you?
Yes, I remember. I forgot initially when he said it, but it was definitely in high school. I believe after I qualified for state, probably I think it was the first time.
Hmm.
'Cause I remember I was a little bit upset of how I finished. I got off to a great start round one, but not the best finish. And he was saying, just instilling, like, nobody's ever done this before. Nobody can say they were ever the first, but just know. Oh yeah, I think that's kind of where that came from.
Hmm.
Just know you want to be the first, but you never want to be the last. I think it's been the stuff I've been able to accomplish at Pearland, the stuff I've been able to accomplish at Howard, and then even on this side of it, maybe not being happy with how I finished my senior year, but just the things I've been able to accomplish that now my teammates have done, or the team has done now, or even will do as I'm now entering this first season post grad. Um, just know that you were the first to do this, but you want to make sure you're not the last. So yeah, that definitely started in high school and then just continued on
That's
from
dope.
college. So definitely just inspiring, especially if it's something you don't realize in the moment how big you achieve. Because I know for a fact I struggle with tunnel vision, especially as a golfer. It's all about the next the next shot, the next tournament, the next event, the next year. But to be able to embrace what you just accomplished right now and celebrate that. And then even my auntie, I'll shout out my Kansas City family. We do a FaceTime call kind of every week, every other week,
Love.
just to check in, which we really started honestly in 2020 because I didn't grow up with my KC family that much. I would just see them, whatever holidays or whatever
Yeah.
celebrations. And then it wasn't until COVID hit, I'm like, let me check in with my Kansas City family. And now we talk like all the time. And they've really instilled in me, give yourself grace, give yourself time to process what has happened, especially now making this major transition of not being in school, because I've never not been in school for as long as I can remember, is just being proud of what I've accomplished and knowing that the things I've been able to do, other golfers, rather if it's junior golf in high school or college, are able to accomplish because of what I've been able to achieve.
Right, I love it. I love it. I want to talk about you being young. Speaking at churches, I feel like speaking in church, doing all the little videos, I feel like that prepared you for interviews, and not only that, it prepared you for the camera work. Because like you were very comfortable, um, like on camera. I noticed, like you're very comfortable. You have a great personality as well too, like very like warm
Thank
hearted.
you.
Yeah, for sure. Like so I kind of like want to talk to you about that because you're always that kid. So, what is that your personality? Did they have to push it out of you, or is that just you
I
behind the
would
scenes?
say initially, because shout out to New Faith Church in Houston, Texas. Um, they do a tremendous job of making sure all the kids and youth are involved in anything and everything. And I remember singing in the choir, being an usher, but specifically our drama ministry.
Mhm,
Obviously, being on stage, I was in a few plays, but then I remember it was specifically for our pastor at the time, Pastor T.R. Williams. It was his anniversary, and they wanted one of the kids to speak on behalf of the children's ministry. And I don't know who selected me. I know it definitely wasn't my parents. I don't know if somebody at the church said, "Oh, let's get Kendall to do it." But there's a lady at the time, Miss Patricia Kane, who I actually love. She does a tremendous job of. She ran our drama ministry, but also when it came to speaking, giving speeches, making sure that you're very articulate, that you announce
mhm,
all of your words, that you use your diaphragm to speak, that you're not speaking from your throat, making sure that you're not yelling, but you're projecting.
mhm,
And I mean, as a kid, you
mhm.
talk all the time, but
Yeah.
being able to do a speech, especially being able to do a speech in front of the church, is a little bit differently. And I remember that, and oh yeah, a few months prior, I'd done a speech for the church. Me and this other girl had spoke about like Jesus is the reason for the season, and if anybody wants to accept Christ. So I had done that before, and my mom was like, "This girl can talk, like what?" So, oh yeah, that's what happened. That speech came first. I think they needed volunteers, and I'm like, might as well. I mean, I'm not doing nothing. So I remember I think I volunteered to speak at that. And then when it came time to speak on behalf of the children, my mom was like, "Oh, you're gonna do that. You already spoke in front of the church at Christmas." And I remember from there, I mean, if you can talk in front of a church, you can talk in front of everybody, especially since it's a difference between talking to kids or your peers and talking to a room full of adults. So then once I got used to that, I would sometimes pray in front of the church or read the scripture and whatnot. And then just obviously just communicating, telling people my story or doing an elevator pitch. I got the most comfortable in front of the camera whenever we had our docu-series, Why Not Us Howard Golf. Shout out to Tristan Williams, our producer for that. They followed us around for an entire year at workouts, at practice, at tournaments. They were in our house, they were at our church. So being mic'd up almost 24/7 or several days a week, and then having a camera right here in your face as you're walking, you have that for a whole year. You can speak in front of anybody and talk in front of cameras. And then we had a few events that were televised as well on the golf channel. I mean, I see it, I acknowledge it, but to me, it's just another spectator, rather if it's in front of me, side of me, behind me. It's just another spectator.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I was wondering. I was like, wow. Like, and then when I was doing my research, I seen the little video you speaking at church. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta bring that up.
How did you find that? Because I know for a fact that's not posted on my end.
Listen,
So
hey,
I gotta
hey,
see who your
hey.
sources are,
I do my
sir.
research. I do my research. Okay. I want to know. when it's all on the line, what's your mental like anchor? Like what anchors you to focus, lock in on that drive, on that swing?
I would say if it's specifically a type of shot I'm hitting, I just always revert. You've done the shot before. It's just like you're in practice, or especially, or if, even if it's a putt, it's already in the hole. Just put it in there. Like you already know what you've done. You just got to do it. So either saying this is just the time in practice, this is just another shot, or specifically it's a putt. Like it's already in the hole. Just go ahead and do it because it's funny you mentioned that specifically. My last one, the PJ Works, it literally came down to the very last hole. I'd been playing well all week, and I remember I took a pretty tough double bogey on like hole 16. Ended up having a fantastic birdie for the next hole because I was like, we can be upset an hour or so. We have to focus right now. And then being able to birdie 17 on 18, I had to par to win. There was not going to be a playoff. There's not going to be a playoff. Like, I'm winning this tournament. Hit it into the sand because either hit in the sand or the water. And the sand's a little bit better than the water. Hit into the sand. Had a great shot, but it was almost too good. It flew the green, so I just had to get up and down to win. And my putting had been tremendous all day and all week. My chipping, not so much. And I definitely got a little timid on the chip. It came up really about 15 feet short, but I've been making that from range all day. So like, definitely could have hit it a lot closer, but like, we got this. And I'm just walking around looking at the putt. And most of the time, when it comes to golf, you really want to focus on the here and now, and whatever the result is what it'll be. But specifically that event and the girl who, had I not made it or whatnot, I was going to be in a playoff with, I had played with her the year before and lost to her. I was not losing to her again. And so I'm looking at this putt. It's a good 15-footer, a little right to left, not downhill, but a little right to left putt. I mean, not a 100%, 98%, or even 80% make. Like you can easily miss this. But I'm looking at this putt. I'm like, this putt is either going in or this putt is going in because there's no other option. And just trusting in what I've done, trusting what I've done the past few days. Like I'm making this putt. There's no other option but me making this putt. And as soon as I hit, I'm like, oh yeah, because when it came to that, I once I figure out what I need to do, I'm just focusing on that spot. Rather if it's a tee shot, rather if it's a chip. Once I see my spot that I'm hitting to, then the rest is out of my hands. But as soon as I hit, I'm like, okay, I hit my spot. I went in. I'm
Love, love, love. I love that. I love that. I got another one for you. I got another one for you. And oh, first off, before I sit down, I love golf now, and I've never really like been a fan because like where I'm from, they promoted like basketball, football, and all that. But when I went
Mhm.
on the golf course, when I finally moved from Louisiana, and when I got on the golf course, I was like, wow, like it's a whole nother game, and I didn't realize
Absolutely.
like there's so many. It's to me, I call it like a string of things, like you got to string one way because certain parts of your game might be there sometimes, and sometimes some parts of your game might not be there at time. But it's all about being on that string, being focused, because knowing that every level you've already mastered, you've already done. Just because it's not there right now, don't mean it might not be there the next hole or the next hole. So you know what I'm saying? It's the mental thing because you're not only playing the course, playing against people, but you're playing against yourself as well. And I feel like it's very, very challenging on the days where you know you can do it and then things just not
Yes.
swinging your way or the wind
Yeah.
and you're angling a shot looking so all that's amazing. I love golf for sure. I got a couple more for you. Then we're done. Uh,
Okay.
okay. What's a moment in your journey that almost broke you mentally, and what brought you back?
Mm. The first that comes to mind is the conference championship from senior year. I mean, we definitely could have won. We lost by one shot, unfortunately, as a team. And I know for me personally, I was the second to last person out. Yes, so it was between basically me and then the other girl behind me to pretty much close it out. And I just remember just that, oh yeah, we had an extremely bad weather delay that like 2 days prior. I mean, we literally teed off, played about 3 holes, and then when I went inside and watched the Masters the rest of the day because the weather was just so bad. And then we were able to get the next round and then the final round. Just I mean, weather's gonna happen. It's golfy outside, but it's tough whenever it's a really bad rain or weather delay.
Mm,
But the last round, I remember like things just were not clicking. I mean, I was playing okay, but just not. If I was giving myself chances to score, it was not happening. And then I would be in position and take myself out of position. It was just one of those days. A little bit of everything was off, and I just remember like literally the last few holes just not it was not happening. And I remember there's something that happened with the team earlier that day that kind of was on my mind a little bit as well, but specifically that last one, very, very good scoring hole, very short par four that you could score. Because I knew we definitely needed a few birdies from myself down the stretch to be able to win it, and I just was not making birdie. And even the very last hole, I drove it in the sand bunker, like greenside bunker. All I have to do is get up and down. I barely got it out, two putt par, and then the girl had made birdie. And I think the girl behind me, not with my teammate, but another one had made birdie. So we ended up losing by one,
mm,
and just seeing this, especially it was different. Junior year losing, sophomore year losing, freshman year losing, but losing as a senior in the conference championship by one, knowing this was the opportunity. Like every say, it's like, oh, it's going to be our year, but this was the year to win. Obviously, this being my last, but this is the first time we had enough girls to where we could bring six or seven and have the depth versus in the past we've only been able to carry five, and if something happens then we're just down to our four. So I feel like I've just put just the weight of that tournament on me, just my
mm,
shortcomings specifically at that event, knowing that this is what you work, especially because I had just gotten second place in the tournament prior to that event, which was our last regular season event.
mm,
I got second in our Lady Bison event. And I played well. It's just the girl that left, he just had a day. So I'm like, okay, this was the second place finish. This was the second place finish. We're gonna win conference and for us to not and to lose it by one. Like, geez, that's tough. And then honestly to turn around and do the exact same thing at the works, especially because that was the last event before graduation. And I mean, as soon as I finished, which I had finished the best, I had to rush and catch a flight and make the graduation. So even though I didn't finish those two events I won, and knowing that my golf is not stopping May 2025, it's continuing on, continuing now as a professional,
mm,
just knowing that. And then again, that goes back to maybe I didn't finish my senior season how I wanted, but look at what I've been able to do the 4 years. Now, really just looking forward to what's next. Because I mean, you look at a lot of the top professionals in a lot of sports, some of them may have not won their conference championship in college, or may not have won that national championship. But what have they accomplished now as a professional that they look back at college is like, not say college's men's score doesn't count, but it's bigger than college, especially if you want to pursue as a professional. So even if I don't see it right now, just knowing that that's helping me to get better, to face that adversity, and then just be ready for what's better. Apparently, because we didn't get that, it's like, well, that means something's better along the way. If I don't see it right now,
mm. Yeah, dang, that's love. And
oh,
like,
made me get emotional now.
oh no,
Ugh.
listen. No. I love how you spoke about that because a bunch of people go through those moments of feeling like whenever they fail, like it's over, it's done, and some people struggle to fight this out mentally, and just you caring that much, like knowing how much you went through within your freshman year and all that you put into Howard and all the changes that you went through, because people don't understand when you're just starting something, you were in the process, so you might have worked out at a certain place, but then a year it looks better. The weight room, the locker room, just everything. So I love how you spoke on those things, and I want people to understand that just like everything that you went through, you always keep your head up. You always keep moving forward, and I love that. All right, three more
Got you.
questions. Three more questions. We done. Uh,
Alrighty.
okay. Sorry, I'm not trying to hold you. I was like, dang.
Oh no, you're
Okay.
good. You
Okay. All right. This is a great one. I know you're gonna love this one. How do you define mental toughness, and how do you train
I would define mental toughness as being able to push through when absolutely nothing is going your way. Sometimes, and I will admit there's sometimes where I've let it got the best of me, and there's been times where I've been able to be on the other side of it.
it?
Conference was one of those, it got the best of me, but PJ Works junior year, I was able to overcome it. But I would say you honestly just, for me, I do meditation. That's one thing I've been trying to implement a little bit more now that I kind of have this down period of not competing, is being able to tap into my breathing. Because especially when it comes to mental toughness, is there's rather if it's golf, it's life, it's so many things that are happening that's out of your control. So what can you focus in right now that you can control? And for most people, the number one thing is breathing, your breath. Even if your thoughts are swirling, if you're focused on your breathing, you're only focused on that one thing. So that's what I really like to do is meditation at night. And then, for me, once I've kind of gotten my breathing under control, I've gotten my kind of calmed down, then I'm just focusing on what am I telling myself. And I know for me at conference, not a conference, at the PGA Works junior year, when I just made a double bogey on 16, but I had 17 and 18, just what am I focused on right now? I literally told myself when I was on that tee box, I'm gonna hit the best shot right now. Like, I was only focused on the tee shot, hit honestly the tee shot of the week. And then as I'm walking, I'm like, this is like just consistently motivating myself. This is not gonna be my last. This is my win. I've worked hard. I've done this. You look back on those times, what you've done, what you've been able to accomplish, the work you put in, and just focusing on that. But it all starts with getting your breathing under control and getting that kind of stillness. And then you start telling yourself, because if you start telling yourself stuff while your breathing is still erratic, your mind's all over the place, it's too much. It's too much going on. So get that heart rate down, get that breathing level, and then tell yourself what you need to tell yourself. Because even when I made that double, I knew I was still in it. I obviously didn't want to double the third to last hole, but I knew I was still in it. It's just a matter of getting that breathing under control and then telling myself the right stuff. And then even on 18, I mean, I was so nervous because I knew I had to make a par. And then even when I hit it in the sand, I'm dang, I didn't want to hit in the sand. But I'm like, hey, hitting in the water. Okay, let's move on.
Right.
And I flew the green. Dang it, why'd you fly the green? Okay, it's better than being in the water, being short. Okay, let's move on. Left the 15 feet short. You couldn't hit it any closer. Okay, that shot's over. What we focus on right now, and then just especially in golf is just like very similar to what Steph always says, that next shot mentality. I mean, in basketball, as soon as you miss, you have to get ready for defense. You can't be um, concerned about that shot, that layup, that 3-pointer you missed because you immediately have to turn around and do defense. I'm like, golf, you hit a shot, you have time to walk in between, but it's still the same thing, that net shot mentality. But you can't get there until you've gotten your breathing under control.
I think I wrote this down on my end. I feel like mental toughness is the greatest test of your preparation within yourself,
Yes, that's really good, both mentally and
both
physically.
mentally and physically. I feel like mental toughness is that test because that's where you get tested, whether it's mentally, whether it's work, or whether it's physically. And I think that it shows your true character. It shows what you're built of, and people don't understand sometimes. Whenever I say that is you can be built for the moment, but sometimes it's just not your moment, and
Yes,
you gotta
and that's
accept that. Yeah,
okay.
and yeah, and you see that that's the thing that
Even if it's not okay, it's okay. It will be okay.
exactly, because if you do the work mentally, God is going to put you in that moment again. So you got to be ready instead of just sitting
Absolutely.
there. You know what I'm saying? So I love that. Okay, I got quick hitters for you. You can only say one. Who you take?
Oh Lord.
Yeah, you can only say one. Steph, Steph or Tiger Woods?
Oh, Steph, easily.
Okay,
That's no problem.
okay. Serena Williams or Beyonce?
Ooh, Serena Williams is one of my favorite athletes, but Beyonce is my H-Town girly. But I got to go with the athlete on this one. I'm going Serena
Oh,
Williams.
that's
Oh, that was tough though.
okay. Okay.
That was good though.
Michael Jackson or Chris Brown?
Michael Jackson. Wait, my last name's Jackson. Come on now.
Okay, okay.
Michael
I just had
Jackson.
to test it. I just had to test it.
My MJ for
All
sure.
right, the Cowboys or the Warriors?
I gotta go Warriors. Even though and I will admit this, we are a Cowboys family. Steph created that golf team and helped me go to college, so Warriors all day.
Warriors all day. Shout out Steph. Shoes or purses?
Shoes for sure. I
Next.
got flat feet. My feet need to be supported. Shoes for sure.
Okay. Okay. So I got this question. It's one of the last ones. Is what does your love look like? What does it taste like? what does it smell like, and what does it feel like?
I've ever been asked that before. Wait, repeat that one more time.
Okay, this is a question I asked for everybody. I created it myself. What does your love look like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? And what does it feel like? So, for instance, like, oh, well, I'll just give you an
Oh
example.
no, no, go ahead. Give an example.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so whenever he says like, "What does your love look like?" Like my love looks like whenever you walk into a family, like when your family cooks and then you come in and you just see everybody laughing, playing. That's what my love looks like. What does it taste like? It's like the moment you know that you about to eat your favorite food. So it's the thrill of
Mm,
everything cooking, the smell, everything. And then
hmm.
you see what I'm saying? So it's like that. And then what
Got
it look
it.
like.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll go first. What does your love look like?
I would say look like either a friend or a family member you haven't seen in so long and you just see that smile and then you're automatically like you just feel so much better. That's probably the number one thing people notice about me is my smile. You don't see all 28 of my teeth, not 32 because my wisdom teeth are out. So all 28 of my teeth.
For sure.
So definitely like a smile from a family or friend that you have not seen in a long time. Once you do, you just ultimately feel better.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And what does your love taste like?
See, taste is interesting because not everybody likes what you like, but I'm gonna go with what I like. Fresh baked cinnamon rolls straight out the oven.
Okay.
Straight out the oven.
Straight out the.
Or honestly, rolls, just all rolls in general, straight out the oven.
I love it. I
You
love
can never go wrong with rolls. If you want to be more specific, let's go Texas Roadhouse rolls.
Oh, oh, now you talking. I've had Texas Roadhouse in a minute. I'm going there before I go back to Oregon. Oh, for y'all that don't know, I'm sorry. Okay. What
It will change your
it
life.
definitely will. What does your love smell like?
Now, um, I would say. That's the because again, people got different smells, but I either have to go. I know for me, one of my favorite scents growing up was cinnamon.
Mhm.
Like I remember we baked gingerbread cookies one time in elementary, but we ran out of gingerbread or we ran out of something, so we had to use cinnamon. And the classroom smelled like cinnamon for a whole week. And I just, anytime I think of cinnamon, I just think of me as a kid. So I also know everybody doesn't like cinnamon, so but that's me. I'm gonna go
It's your
cinnamon.
it's your it's your smell, not everybody else. So
That's my
it's
love,
your
so we gonna go cinnamon.
okay. And what does it feel like?
Feels like. I'm gonna go with a hug. Like either
Mm,
again, going back to that friend or family I haven't seen you, automatically
mm,
just give that tight, not church hug now, but that tight,
mhm.
full on hug.
Not the church.
That's
I
what it
love
feels like.
it. All right, we're in the last one. Last segment. I call this decoding the real, and this is just where I give a real moment. I say things that I would say off camera, on camera. But first off, I want to say congratulations to everything that you've accomplished. Also, everything that you overcame. Thank you so much for the battles that you show people on the course, just as well as the stuff that they don't see off the course. Things that you don't talk about, things that you had to overcome, whether it be a family or anything. I want to say thank you, and I want to tell you to keep going. That I'm definitely a fan. I love your personality. I love everything that you're doing, whether it's golf, online, and everything. And I love that you just like to be yourself. Like you don't try to be nobody. You like what you like, and it's cool because it kind of reminds me of myself. Like I'm like an introvert. Like I can be out in front of people, but I like to do certain things. I like to eat certain things. So I love that about you. So thank you so much for coming on my platform and blessing my subscribers with just your presence and information and knowledge. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. I mean, you asked some questions. You said it's gonna be questions that you haven't been asked. I'm like, oh, okay. And then you were pulling stuff out the woodwork. So I'm like, where did he get this from?
Yeah.
So no, I really appreciate. I really appreciate that. That tells me that's like you did your homework, you prepared. So thank you, and thank you for the invite. Because at first when you said this, I'm like. I mean, I wasn't gonna say no, but I'm like, I didn't really know what to expect. But I now you have gained a fan and a subscriber over here for
Oh,
sure.
thank
So
you. And
I appreciate the work that you're doing.
also too, I do want to get you back on here too. So I mean, if you would be willing to come on again, I would love.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
sure. Like I know.
You gotta get me and Dad next time.
Yes,
'Cause you
sure. I
didn't.
was just about to say that. Yeah, yeah. I gotta get pops. I gotta
Yes,
get
me and Dad will have to make a special appearance next
for
time.
sure.
MJ and KJ.
That's love. Oh, I do have one question for you. This is just me wanting to know. How was it as far as like being around stuff because a bunch of people have been asking me to ask you this, so I gotta ask the question.
Oh
Yeah, shout out to
yes,
Steph.
I
So,
would say
yeah, like what's that
yes.
experience like?
The first two times, well, actually the very first time, because I'll try to make this brief. The very first time I met him was literally June 2022,
Mm,
not even a few weeks after the Warriors winning the 2022 championship. And I remember I just was so excited. Obviously, you see him on TV, you hear all these things about him, but to see him in person, I remember it was me and my teammate, we were outside greeting people as we walked in, because this was for our Bison at the Beach fundraiser, our big event we throw every year for our sponsors, donors, and raise money for the program. And I remember he's walking up, and I literally turned around and screamed like, and then turned back around and just like I don't even remember what I
mm,
said, but I just remember it just like all just spilled out because I just was so excited. And then fast forward to later in the evening, I had a jersey, like forget the golf clubs. The jersey was the first thing that was packed for that trip because my parents gave me a Curry jersey, I think for like my 13th or 14th birthday.
mm,
And I remember as he was signing it, I don't know what came over me to say this, but I literally told, mind you, I literally just had one brief conversation and he's signing the jersey, and I said, "You know what, Curry? I'm not gonna lie. I used to not like you because you used to beat up on my Houston Rockets.
mm,
And then once I found out you play golf, I'm like, he's all right with me. Like I
mm.
literally said this. I don't know why I said this, but he just laughed, and then we took a picture of the jersey, and then fast forward to the rest of that evening. That's when like he was telling us acknowledging us one by one, doing his little speech. And then he finished it off with whenever you win championships, you get stuff like this. And his bodyguard pulls out his MVP finals trophy. Not like the big Larry
Yeah,
O'Brien one, but
yeah,
his MVP one. And he's like, "Come on, Howard Golf, want to get a photo?" And I definitely hit like at least four chairs on my way up there.
yeah.
Immediately ran on the stage. It's him, two of my teammates. And I'm trying to like scooch, scooch, scooch in the middle. And this is when I knew my life had forever changed. This man looks me in my eyes and says, "Kendall, come stay in the middle. You know what? How about you hold the trophy?" And now I've carried the MVP Finals trophy. He's talking, laughing behind us, pictures everywhere. And I'm like, my life, what is my life now?
That's
Because there's no way.
that's love.
And since then, every time we've seen him now, I mean, he is one of the most present and most humble and most down to earth people, considering all that he is, all that he's done, both through basketball, outside of
Mm,
basketball, all his philanthropy and whatnot. He's one of the most down to earth people you'll ever talk to. And he's just a really cool, chill dude. Like every time I talk to him or see him, like it's like this, like no time has passed, like we're catching up, right? If it's about golf, about school, about life.
yeah,
Yeah, he is just he's very, very present, which usually people of his caliber, especially professional athletes, like, they always got something going on or always doing this, like, oh, let me say hi, take this picture, then I gotta go. But he is the type of person, he walks into a room 100 people, he's talking, not just talking like, hey, hi, get a picture and go, but actually having a conversation with you.
mm,
And hopefully we will be playing golf very, very soon. So that way, because he's been talking smoke as well, or talking smack as well too. I remember talking about oh yeah, you're gonna need some strokes aside. I said, who is the basketball player and who is the college now about to be
mm.
professional golfer? But that's
Okay.
just me. So
Hey, I
hopefully
love.
that 1v1 match will be coming very soon,
Yes,
hopefully.
yes. Make sure you get that record. I want to see who win. But yeah, man. First off, shout out to Steph, and I love that you got to experience that because everybody who in my circle wanted to know, like, you gotta ask her about Steph. You gotta ask her about that. And I seen like you be going to the basketball games and stuff. You always greet you, so that's love too. So
He is the real
that's
deal. Like
love.
whatever you think he is, and so much more.
Love, love, love. Well, that's how we gonna end it. Shout out to Steph. Shout out to everybody. Howard. Shout out to you, your family. Definitely your pops, grandmother, everybody that supports you. To everybody that support me, y'all. I'm gonna have her Instagram up. Y'all go follow. Do you do YouTube or
Yes, I do not.
okay?
I've been Instagram and TikTok
Yes, you need to
and
get on YouTube, girl. You
Facebook.
need to get on YouTube because
Guess so now.
you know how many people play golf around the world? Just some of the courses that you practice at, that will really bring light and it'll get people to show you like off thing. Like, yes, please get into YouTube. I think,
No,
I truly think
maybe.
that you would enjoy it. But thank y'all. Again, shout out to all the people that done subscribe. We have 65,000 subscribers now. I'll tell y'all on camera, y'all. Hey, it's been tremendous. Me and my mom was watching my podcast last night. So funny. She just found out I have 65,000 people following me because my mom don't even be keeping up. She just know that I'm happy doing this. So shout out to everybody. Y'all keep subscribing. I got more great content coming for y'all. Y'all know the motto, man. Be different.